Welcome back to Liberty Bites on the Think Liberty Network. I'm your host, William Gaston. You can follow me on Twitter at William_Gadsden and follow Think Liberty on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever your favorite social media outlet is. You can also follow me on Facebook at William Gaston Political Commentator. So give us a follow and a like for updates on new episodes and more. We also have a Patreon now, so if you'd like to support our work, check it out at patreon.com/ThinkLibertyPatrons. So the second paragraph of the Declaration of Independence states, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." Now, obviously, this hasn't always been the case in practice. The U.S. practiced slavery, keeping their fellow men in bondage and servitude for almost 100 years. Women and minorities had to fight for their right to vote and for equal protection under the law. But generally speaking, the U.S. has always sought to improve, to seek out and reach the original standard of equality among people. It has, generally speaking, succeeded in this over time. However, it has been working its way back to inequality in at least one way, which is what I want to talk about. In today's America, we are closer than ever to achieving a country in which the government treats every citizen equally, with the exception of our own elected leaders, of course. No, when it comes to them, they get special treatment from the government. When was the last time you voted for your own raise or benefits? When was the last time you were exempt from being arrested, even if you did something illegal, because you were on the clock? When was the last time you could implement new laws, but exempt yourself from the consequences of them? All of these things are the norm for our elected leaders, and that's just the stuff we know about. So let's walk through these things. Yes, they do get to vote on their own pay raises and benefits. Yes, they are immune from arrest or prosecution while they are in session. Yes, they can and do write exemptions for themselves into laws that apply to every other American. What they have done is created an entirely new class of elites in this country. Not self-made men and women, although many of them are independently wealthy. Not inventors or scientists or philosophers. Not successful business people or authors. These people just had to get voted into office to enjoy all of these perks, to put themselves into this elite class that they themselves have created. Because as soon as they're voted in, the paid speeches, the pay-to-play schemes, and contracted book deals and appearances, they all start rolling in. They are the aristocracy. And the rest of us are peasants that they look down on from their tinted windows as they're escorted in their limos with their reserved driving lanes in Washington, D.C. They are the 1,000 tyrants 1 mile away. But how are they able to get to this point, to create such a lopsided class of elites without anyone protesting? Because we are the ones that should be protesting, the ones holding them accountable and keeping them humble. But we have failed to do so on a fantastic, gargantuan scale. And the politicians are the ones reaping the benefits of this, literally. And it's paid for with our tax dollars. They pit us against one another, always pushing new acts and tricks to keep the political circus going, and we're the suckers being played. But this doesn't have to continue. This doesn't have to be the norm. The cost isn't even that heavy. All it would take to start righting the ship, to start rolling back the huge chasm that has been growing between these two political classes of Americans is to pay attention, think critically, and hold our elected officials accountable. Demand that their plethora of taxpayer-funded benefits and pay are scaled back, that they can no longer live like they are rulers instead of public servants. But it requires that we take the initiative and that we make our voices heard. And if our voices are ignored, we reinforce it with our votes. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how many Americans are willing to do that. Or even if they are, if it's already too late. And the government is so large, runs so many facets of our lives, that there isn't any going back, even if we wanted to. Thanks for listening, and I hope you'll join me next week to become more liberty-centered with us. I'm William Gadsden with Think Liberty.